Howdy friends, Rodge here, aka the Wisco Horn Dog, and I'm back again for another SAGA Thursday, your regular source for Saga, the miniatures game content, and I am in the midst of Adepticon preparation. I'm actually taking a break from Acon painting to finish editing this video and doing this intro segment here, and I hope to get right back to that as soon as I'm done with this. But for Saga this year at Adepticon, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in any other video, but I am doing some Saga stuff, playing in the Saga teams with my buddy J-Jack. We're doing Scots and Welsh. I'm playing the Welsh, he's playing the Scots, and we're gonna see we're gonna see how we're gonna do here. But that's Friday. But if you are viewing this on your way to Adepticon or at Adepticon or on the way, as I found out today, the pictures of all the event halls and stuff are already going up. I'm going to get my ass down there Thursday morning. So I will be hanging out in the Saga Infinity kind of little nook area there all weekend. I will be wearing the trademark dude hat if you want to come say hi to me and check out the Saga stuff. I will be definitely doing some kind of coverage for it. At this point, I'll probably just be taking lots of pictures and then kind of doing some video chats about it. But I would like to get pics of all the nice models and then pictures of my games and stuff like that, and just general stuff to chat about. So there will be some Adepticon videos coming up, but right now we are branching out into some uncharted territory here. Taking a break from the tactic discussions and rules stuff to take a look at the Saga community. And today we are going to chat with this fellow named Pip from Australia, and he messaged me and we chatted back and forth about a bunch of things, and he's a big Saga fan. His handle is Pipinator on the Studio Tomahawk forums, if anybody knows him. But we are going to get the lowdown on the Australian Saga community today, and let's check that out. I should say, hold on, there are a couple things. So I Skyped this bro down to Australia, and the video footage actually, when we were recording, everything looked good, but then there was a couple issues. So one, my main recording device had a failure, but when you're doing this shit, you always have second and third audio backup, so my cool, clean tones you're used to will not appear on this one. But yeah, it sounds perfectly fine to me. And then the second part is Pip's footage, for whatever inexplicable reason, didn't show up until a minute or maybe a couple minutes in. But eventually his face will start moving. It will be animated. And but again, the audio stuff and everything else works perfectly fine. So yeah, we are going to check that out. All right, I'm here chatting with Pip down in Australia. How's it going, man?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Oh, excellent. I see you've cultivated a nice Saga rules lawyer beard there.
Yeah. I'm a bit surprised it actually came out reasonably okay. A blonde beard generally is not the easiest thing to grow, but I'm a bit stoked, to be honest. So yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot better than I can do. Like what you're seeing here, this is about the extent of it. It just kind of gets a little puby and curls back in on itself. And there's weird long silver hairs, and it's just not a good situation for anybody.
The good thing about a blonde beard, I guess, is that you can kind of just blend in those greys when they tend to pop up. So
oh yeah,
it's all part of the effect.
Nice cultivation there. Excellent. So we are going to chat some Saga, and why don't you tell me a little bit about your background, maybe just in hobby in general or Saga or whatever you're feeling.
Yeah. So I've been wargaming for about 20 years now. Started with my foray into Hero Quest many moons ago. I think
awesome.
Most of my mates got hooked in with a bit of Hero Quest. From there, I think I played 5th edition Fantasy, 7th and 8th edition, I think it was. And then after 8th edition, I got into Malifaux. I really enjoy Malifaux, but the last probably 2 or 3 years, one of my good friends, Anthony Perkins, or Diesel as we know him, got me into. He goes, "Do you want to play a bit of Saga?" I'm like, "Oh, what's Saga?" He goes, "Oh, it's a historical miniatures game." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll give it a crack," and I loved it. And ever since then, I've been playing whenever I can. So it's been really good.
Excellent. So what part of Australia are you out of?
So I'm in Melbourne. I'm the western suburbs of Melbourne, so in the state of Victoria. So right down south, not as south as Tasmania, but close.
Cool. So it sounds like you got one buddy at least. So do you guys have
Yep.
a good Saga group going
Yeah,
down
there's
there?
about between Geelong is a city about 50 odd k's from Melbourne, and that's where Dees is from. But in the west in Melbourne, where I am, there's probably about another 7 or 8 guys I play with regularly. A
Oh,
couple
awesome.
a couple have just gotten into the game as well, so they've picked up Vikings, and they're really enjoying it. So it's very casual and laid back, and they really enjoy that. So. But yeah, apart from the West, there's a big community in around the city at the League of Ancients. It's a historical wargaming community that play their games in a German beer club. So it's a good setting for it for
That
sure. So
that sounds awesome.
yeah, it's
Oh,
really
wow.
fun. Some Saga, some Schnitzel, and some beer. So
That sounds perfect. Cool. So what was it about Saga that kind of drew you in, would you say?
well. Well, I do have a history degree, so I have an
Oh,
interest in
cool.
history, I thought the mechanic I thought was what got me in. To be honest, like the history is good, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the mechanics I'm kind of big on in games. If the mechanic doesn't draw me in, then I don't tend to stick with it. But the dice system seems simple enough, but there's an incredible amount of tactical depth in it, which I think you kind of don't see at first. But as you play more games, you definitely see it, and it's great to play.
Oh, yes, definitely. I totally agree with that kind of resource allocation. For me, it was just totally different. I kind of grew up on
Yeah,
GW
yeah,
games, so
yeah,
didn't really have
yeah.
any kind of previous experience like it. So that is cool. So you guys got a good gaming group and stuff. Are there kind of tournaments and stuff down there?
Yeah, in Melbourne, there's a couple. So there's Ragnarok. That's the main big tournament in September, which is
Cool.
held at the German club. So that's always it's a really good weekend, that one. There's Conquest, which is in Easter, I think. That's just a little one day. It's a nice one. There was CanCon back in July. So for those people who don't know, CanCon is a giant games convention that's held in Canberra, Australia's
Mm-hmm.
capital city, and that's it's usually held on the last day. It's a 3-day convention, and it's a great weekend. Heaps of games. The guys that played this year are just super fantastic gents. Very low key and very casual and relaxed tournament, and it was great to play. Yeah.
That's awesome. So CanCon, I've heard of that reference in other podcasts and stuff like that. Is that kind of like more miniatures based, or is it more like a big kind of general with board games and card games and stuff?
It's both. So it's
Okay.
tabletop, it's board games, and it's card games as well. So it's a whole. I guess you could probably classify it probably all under tabletop. I guess. But yeah, there's no real computer games or anything like that there is at PAX.
Okay.
When PAX is in town. So yeah, it's great.
Okay. Cool. What factions do you like to play? What are your favorites?
So my favourites probably the first faction I ever picked up was the Norse Gales. I like the challenge mechanic. That kind of appealed to me. I actually played a game recently last Wednesday and against the Vikings, and the challenges weren't really going too well for me, I must admit. And I got beaten that game. But Pagan Russ I like a lot. I play poorly, by the way. Militus Christi, the Mutawi I like as well. And everyone loves the Vikings, mate. So it's
Uh-huh.
great.
Absolutely. Cool. So um, you just had some tournament success there. We were kind of chatting back and forth. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, actually, yeah, I did, surprisingly. So I have a history of just making stupid tactical decisions at the most critical
Okay.
moments. So, but I got away with it at CanCon and managed to win the Grand Melee this year at CanCon with the Mutawi, with some Nefata throwers, no doubt, as well. So,
Some
I
flamers.
yeah, it was really good. And I watched your little rundown on them a couple of weeks back, and it was really good. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Anything to add or um,
Um,
critiques or comments in general about it?
I'm pretty sure it was covered, but yeah, I found quickly that it wasn't about the casualties; it was more about the fatigue that they put on enemy units. Like you said a couple of weeks back, if you can, just pile on the fatigue and shut down a unit for a turn, it makes things a bit easier. So
absolutely, cool. Well, yeah, it sounds like you guys got a great little scene down there. How is it okay if I post some contact details if people want to get a hold of you? I know new players are always coming in all the time, and compared to some other game systems, it can be a little trickier to find players. So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, excellent. Wow, awesome. That sounds good. Any closing thoughts here? I mean, I definitely appreciate you coming on and kind of giving us the rundown.
Thanks for the opportunity. It was great to. It was great to. It's great to be on. I'll just play Saga. Play as much Saga as you can. Yeah, it's good fun, and I think the one thing about the Saga community that I like the best is that they're just fun people to play with. I find the community is just probably the friendliest I've probably been part of, and for me, I think that's probably the main reason I think I enjoy my game so much.
Cool. Yeah, I think I definitely echo those sentiments here in the U.S. As far as gaming communities go. I've never met a more laid-back group of guys than the Saga crew. So that's cool to hear that same vibe is being perpetuated down there. So I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. And
no worries. Thank you for the opportunity.
Back some other time. We can chat about maybe a faction or two or just some general stuff. So cool. Yeah, awesome.
Sounds great.
Thanks, dude.
All right. Thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, no problem.
Take it easy.
Hope you enjoyed that look at the Australian Saga scene. And as mentioned, Pip was kind enough to provide a massive list of links below for the different clubs in the different cities. So if you are anywhere on the Australian mainland, you should have no trouble at all finding somebody who can show you the ropes and get you going on this fine Saga hobby. And I should say we actually chatted for probably another 30 or 40 minutes. And originally I was going to edit some of that stuff in there as it was pretty good, but I had Adepticon painting. It's creeping up on me. I actually need to get back to that. I have a couple Infinity models yet to do. Saga stuff is perfectly fine. I spent all my late night hours last year getting all that done, so thankfully I have those models to fall back on. But so there might be some kind of little bonus video in the future for that stuff. But huge thanks to the Pipinator. I should say, he didn't mention it, but he is actually on a Malifaux podcast called the Unfo Cast, I believe, maybe Unfo Podcast. And just kind of casual discussion of Malifaux. So that is super cool. Big thanks to him. And like I said, he chatted me up. If you would like to represent your community and provide some links and details to the various clubs in your area, that would be awesome. I'd love to do a video with you and chat about your local community, meta, if you like to use that word. And that would be super awesome. I would love to hear from anybody out there, and I'll probably put one together on the Midwest where I am. But until then, if you're in different parts of the US or overseas, definitely hit me up, and we can grow this Saga community. So as always, favorite this shit, share it with the bud, especially if he lives in Australia, and spread that Saga word, my friends. And become that hobby horn dog you've always dreamed about today. Saga!